Your brain is lying to you right now. Not metaphorically, literally. Everything you see, hear, and feel is being generated inside your skull before you experience it. You're not perceiving reality, you're hallucinating reality and checking it against sensory input, which means every thought you have is a prediction that reality then confirms. You are living inside a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I can prove it with neuroscience. Over the next 25 minutes, you'll discover that perception isn't reception, it's construction, and that changes everything. Before we dive into how your brain manufactures reality, quick note: if you want more deep investigations into consciousness and reality, make sure you're subscribed. This channel exists to show you that existence is stranger than fiction. Now, let's deconstruct perception. You've been told your entire life that perception works like this. Light hits your eyes, sound hits your ears, sensations hit your skin, and your brain receives these signals and builds a picture of reality. Input comes in, perception comes out. Simple, logical, completely wrong. What actually happens is far more disturbing and far more interesting. Your brain doesn't wait for sensory information to tell it what's real. It predicts what's real first, generates an expectation, and then checks incoming data against that prediction. You are not a passive receiver of reality. You are an active predictor of reality. And here's where it gets genuinely unsettling. When prediction and reality don't match, your brain often adjusts perception to fit prediction rather than the other way around. You literally see what you expect to see, which means every belief you hold about reality is actively shaping the reality you experience. Your thoughts aren't just interpreting the world, they're constructing it in real time. This isn't philosophy, this isn't metaphor, this is measurable neuroscience. And once you understand how this works, you can't unsee it. Over the next minutes, we're going to explore two major pieces of scientific evidence that prove your brain predicts before it perceives. Then, we'll investigate what this means for everything you think you know about reality, consciousness, and the possibility of change. We'll look at how ancient philosophical traditions anticipated this discovery millennia before neuroscientists confirmed it. And finally, we'll explore the terrifying and liberating implication. If perception is prediction, and prediction comes from expectation, then changing your expectations literally changes what you perceive as real. You are not stuck in reality. You are stuck in a prediction about reality, and predictions can be reprogrammed. Let's start with the science that breaks everything. In 2013, neuroscientist Anil Seth published research showing something that shouldn't be possible. He demonstrated that your conscious perception of reality is what he calls a controlled hallucination. Not hallucination like you're crazy. Hallucination, like your brain is constantly generating predictions about what should be happening, and those predictions become your conscious experience before sensory data even arrives. Here's how they proved it. Researchers used functional MRI to measure brain activity during perception. What they found was shocking. When you see something, the neural activity in your brain doesn't start in the sensory cortex where incoming visual information lands. It starts in higher prediction areas that generate expectations about what you're about to see. Your brain fires prediction signals down to sensory areas before the sensory data arrives. You experience the prediction, not the raw data. Then, sensory information comes in, and your brain calculates the difference between what it predicted and what actually arrived. That difference is called prediction error. And here's the critical part. Your brain doesn't update perception based on every prediction error. It only updates when the error is large enough to override the existing prediction. Most of the time, your brain adjusts the error to fit the prediction. You experience what you expected to experience, not what objectively happened. This is why two people can witness the same event and report completely different experiences. They're not seeing different things. They're predicting different things, and those predictions become their reality. Seth describes it like this: you are hallucinating your reality into existence, and when we agree about our hallucinations, we call it reality. But the hallucination is generated from the inside out, not the outside in. Now you might be thinking, this sounds impossible. How can perception work backwards? How can prediction come before data? But there's overwhelming evidence this is exactly how it works. Consider the placebo effect. You take a sugar pill. You expect pain relief. and you get pain relief. Real, measurable, neurochemical pain relief. How? Because your brain predicted pain would decrease, generated that experience internally, and perception followed prediction. The expectation literally became the reality. But it gets more disturbing. The nocebo effect works in reverse. Give someone a harmless substance, but tell them it causes nausea. Their brain predicts nausea, and they experience nausea. Real physical symptoms from pure expectation. No chemical cause, just prediction error driving physiological response. Neuroscientist Tor Wager has done extensive research on this. He's shown that when you expect pain, your brain activates pain processing regions before the painful stimulus even arrives. You feel the predicted pain, not just the actual pain. Expectation amplifies or diminishes sensation based on prediction. This isn't mind over matter in some mystical sense. This is prediction architecture determining conscious experience. But the most mind-bending evidence comes from predictive processing theory, developed by philosophers Andy Clark and neuroscientist Carl Friston. Their work shows that your entire conscious experience is a generative model. Your brain doesn't build perception from sensory atoms. It generates a prediction about reality based on past experience, current context, and internal state, then minimally adjusts that prediction when sensory data contradicts it. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing your brain's best guess about reality, constrained but not determined by sensory input. Friston describes this mathematically through what he calls the free energy principle. Your brain is constantly trying to minimize surprise. Not surprise like birthday parties. Surprise like prediction error. When reality contradicts expectations, your brain experiences that as error, as free energy that needs to be minimized. And it minimizes that error in two ways: by updating predictions to match reality, or by acting on reality to match predictions. Both are happening constantly. You change your mind or you change your world, whichever minimizes error faster. This is prediction becoming self-fulfilling. And here's what this really means. Every perception you have right now is your brain's prediction about what should be there, barely influenced by what actually is there. You walk into a room expecting to see a chair. Your brain generates chair. Sensory data confirms chairish signals. You experience chair, but you never directly perceived chair. You predicted chair and experienced that prediction, which leads to something profoundly unsettling. If you expect the world to be hostile, your brain predicts hostility, attends to hostile signals, filters perception through that lens, and generates conscious experience of a hostile world. The world doesn't make you perceive hostility. Your prediction of hostility makes you perceive a hostile world. This is the closed loop. Expectation shapes attention. Attention shapes perception. Perception generates evidence. Evidence confirms expectation. The prophecy fulfills itself, and you never notice because perception feels like direct contact with reality. But it's not. It's contact with your model of reality, and that model is running the show. Quick note, if you're finding value in this investigation and haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. This kind of deep dive into consciousness and reality is what we do here. And if you're noticing you understand this intellectually, but want help applying it in practice, I created something specific for that gap. It's called the manifestation path. Link in the description. Now back to why your brain hallucinates reality. Now let's connect this neuroscience to something philosophers discovered thousands of years before brain scanners existed. The idea that perception is constructed, not received, isn't new. What's new is that we can now measure it. Immanuel Kant, in the 18th century, argued that you never perceive things as they are in themselves. You perceive things as they appear to your cognitive architecture. He called this the phenomenal versus noumenal distinction. You only ever access phenomena, appearances structured by the mind. The thing in itself remains forever inaccessible. Predictive processing proves Kant was right, but goes further. You're not just structuring raw data through mental categories. You're generating the experience first and checking it against data second. Buddhist philosophy, particularly in the Yogacara school, made an even more radical claim 2,000 years ago. They argued that consciousness is not a mirror reflecting reality. Consciousness is a projection generating appearances. They called it vijnana, which means something like discriminating awareness or constructive knowing. The mind doesn't receive objects. It constructs objects from seeds of past experience and present intention. Sound familiar? That's predictive processing described in contemplative language. The self-fulfilling prophecy isn't a psychological quirk. It's the fundamental structure of perception. Constructivism in philosophy makes the same point. Reality as you experience it is a construct built from sensory data, prior beliefs, cultural context, and emotional state. There is no view from nowhere. There's only your perspective shaped by your history, and that perspective determines what becomes visible. What does this mean for your actual lived experience right now? It means that everything you think is objectively real is actually your brain's best prediction constrained by sensory input. Let me show you directly. Pay attention to your breath right now. Notice the sensation of air moving in and out. But here's the question. Where exactly is that sensation? Is it at your nostrils, in your lungs, somewhere in your chest? Look closely, not at the concept of breathing, at the actual felt sensation. Where precisely is it? You'll notice something strange. The more you look, the less clear it becomes. The sensation seems to be everywhere and nowhere. It's diffuse, it's constructed. You're not feeling breath directly. You're feeling your brain's prediction of breath, assembled from scattered sensory signals and past experience of what breath should feel like. Your brain built that sensation. Now try this. Think of someone you love. Notice what happens in your body. Maybe warmth in your chest, maybe lightness, maybe relaxation. Now think of someone you dislike intensely. Notice what happens. Maybe tension, maybe constriction, maybe heat rising. Same body, same moment, different thoughts, different physiological responses. Your thoughts didn't interpret neutral sensations. Your thoughts generated the sensations. Prediction created experience. This is happening every second of every day. You think a thought. Your brain predicts how reality should feel based on that thought, and you experience that prediction as reality, which brings us back to the central paradox. If expectation determines perception and perception generates evidence, then you're trapped in a closed loop. You expect the world to be a certain way. That expectation makes you attend to certain things and ignore others. The things you attend to become your reality. That reality confirms your expectation, and the loop tightens. This is why changing your life is so difficult. You're not changing objective circumstances. You're changing a prediction model that actively resists change, because change means error, and brains minimize error. Your brain would rather keep predicting the same miserable reality than face the surprise of a different one. But here's the opening. Prediction models can be updated, not easily, not quickly, but they can be retrained through conscious attention, through deliberate practice, through systematic prediction error that your brain can no longer ignore. You can teach your brain to predict differently, and when prediction changes, perception changes. And when perception changes, reality as you experience it changes. Not because reality itself changed, because your hallucination of reality changed. And since you're always hallucinating anyway, you might as well hallucinate consciously. Let's bring all the threads together. Your brain generates predictions before perception. Those predictions shape what you consciously experience. Perception creates evidence that confirms prediction. The loop closes. You live inside a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is not metaphor. This is neural architecture. But now we arrive at the really disturbing part. If perception is prediction, then everything you believe about yourself is also prediction. When you think you're anxious, your brain predicts anxiety, generates anxiety symptoms, and you experience anxiety. When you think you're confident, your brain predicts confidence, generates confident physiology, and you experience confidence. The feeling isn't causing the thought. The thought is generating the feeling through predictive architecture. Identity itself is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't discover who you are, you predict who you are, and your brain makes that prediction feel real, which means the person you think you are is the person your brain has learned to predict you should be based on past patterns. You're not experiencing your true self, You're experiencing your brain's habitual prediction about self. And here's the genuinely radical implication. If identity is prediction, then identity can be reprogrammed. Not by thinking different thoughts occasionally, by systematically training your brain to predict a different self until that prediction becomes your new baseline. This is not positive thinking. This is not affirmations. This is deliberate prediction error introduced consistently until your brain updates its model. You teach your brain to expect a different version of you. That expectation generates different perceptions, different behaviors, different emotional states. Those states generate different outcomes. Those outcomes confirm the new prediction. And slowly, through repetition, the new prediction becomes the new you. But here's the crucial part most people miss. You can't just think your way into new predictions. Cognition alone doesn't work because your brain predicts across multiple levels: cognitive, emotional, behavioral, physiological. You need congruent prediction across all levels. You need to think like the new self, feel like the new self, and act like the new self repeatedly until your brain says, okay, this is the new normal, and updates the model. That's not inspiration. That's neuroplasticity through systematic prediction error. And the moment you understand this, the moment you really internalize that perception, is prediction. And prediction is trainable. Everything opens up. You're not stuck with the reality you've been experiencing. You're stuck with the reality you've been predicting. And predictions, unlike facts, can be changed through practice. Have you noticed that you understand more about reality than you can apply? That you theoretically know how consciousness works, but practically live on autopilot? There's a reason for this that almost nobody talks about. Change doesn't happen at the level of insight. Insight gives you direction. But change happens at the level of conscious repetition. Your brain doesn't change because you understood something once. It changes because you practiced something until it became a new pattern. Neuroscience is clear. Personality is just a set of neural circuits fortified by repetition. If you want to change your reality, you don't need more insights. You need a system of conscious repetition. That's why I created the manifestation path. It's not information. It's structured transformation. You'll spend 28 days doing something most people never do: observing, regulating, and rebuilding your identity through daily practice. It's not motivational. It's neurological, it's not conceptual, it's embodied. The process has 3 phases. Phase 1, the foundations. You identify and dismantle the automatic program, keeping everything the same. Phase 2, the map. You build surgical clarity about who you're becoming and how that person lives. Phase 3, the mountain. You practice 28 consecutive days until acting as your future self stops being effort and becomes automatic. It's based on neuroscience of habit, emotional regulation, and coherent action. And it works because it doesn't try to motivate you. It tries to reprogram you. Link in the description if you want all this understanding about reality to finally become your lived reality. Here are 2 practices you can start immediately. First, prediction awareness. For the next 24 hours, notice when you're predicting before perceiving. You walk into a meeting expecting tension. Notice that prediction before the meeting even starts. You wake up expecting fatigue. Catch that expectation before you even assess how you actually feel. Just observe the prediction happening. Don't try to change it yet. Just see it operating. Second, deliberate prediction reversal. Choose one recurring situation where you always predict the same outcome. Maybe you predict your commute will be frustrating. Tomorrow, before the commute, consciously predict something different. Don't force positivity. Just predict neutral or mildly positive. Notice what happens to your perception. Does the commute feel different when you predicted differently? Track this for a week. You're training your awareness that prediction shapes experience. So here's what we've discovered. Your brain hallucinates reality before perceiving it. Expectation becomes experience. Perception is prediction, and prediction is trainable. Which means you're not stuck in reality, you're stuck in a prediction about reality. And the moment you see that, the moment you really understand that the prophecy has been fulfilling itself all along, you get the opening. You can predict differently. And when you predict differently, consistently, with full commitment across thought, emotion, and action, reality as you experience it transforms. Not because you change the world, because you change the hallucination. And since hallucination is all you've ever known, that's everything. If this changed how you understand perception and reality, leave a like and drop a comment. What prediction about yourself or your life have you been unconsciously repeating? Let's see what patterns we're all running.